Got a big smile today there, brother.
I'm not sure what I'm more happier about. The fact that the Eagles won or that Ben has become a wine guy and he just tried to say sommelier
Yeah,
off camera.
There was another word I struggled with last year. Charcuterie. Charcuterie.
Last year, we struggle with words around here.
We do.
Daily.
We do.
Daily.
Well, happy Monday, Jeff.
Yeah, happy Monday. Happy post-conference championship Monday. Big game for the big game. We can't legally say what it is in 2 weeks because there's a trademark on that. So 2 weeks, there's a big game. Brother Bowl is what I'm calling it.
Brother Bowl, yeah. That's interesting. First set of brothers ever.
I think that's pretty neat. So, but yeah, you're not here to watch me and Ben talk about football or wine or botching words.
That'll be at like 2:50.
Yeah, that's later in the show. We've got a really great guest here on Lancaster Connects, and just to remind you, Lancaster Connects all about local businesses doing really great for our community, local charities, of course, doing even better. And every now and then, what we like to call a local celebrity and hero, and that's what we've got today.
Yeah,
so
probably our most famous podcast guest ever, except for the groundhog.
There it is again.
The groundhog was in the bowl. Can I say the bowl without getting?
I think in this context we're allowed to say it
because we're not marketing.
We're speaking about the Super Bowl. We're not speaking about our business in relation to.
We're not using the Super Bowl as a marketing tool. I got you.
In our opinion, that's what you say to appease attorneys.
There we go.
Just saying.
There we go.
I think.
So
please don't sue us.
Yeah, please don't sue us. But you can, at least for now, you can catch this show on YouTube, Lancaster Connects, Gardeners Mattress and More channels, Facebook, also same thing, Lancaster Connects, Gardeners Mattress and More, LinkedIn, personal Facebook pages, and we'd love to hear from you.
Or really anywhere it's an internet connected device that plays video.
This is true.
You'll find it.
Podcast players as well. We are a podcast, video podcast, but you can listen to us as well. Anywhere you find your podcasts.
Yep. Spotify, Apple Casts. There's like 16 players. So dealer's choice, you pick, we're there.
Yep. And if you are watching live, we'd like to hear from you. We've got some great gifts to give out to a commenter, somebody that gives us a comment. Tell us what you like about the show. Ask a question of our guest.
Yeah,
this would be, if you've ever wanted to know what it's like to be on TV
or with a celebrity,
whatever, put your question in there. We'll spin the prize later at the end of the show and give away some cool gifts. We got our Less Snore, More Cuddle drinkware. Cool.
You can never figure out which way it goes. Vanna White, she had this down. She was fantastic. Every week it was a different contextual prize in the hand.
That's right.
A different way to show the thing.
Is she still on TV? She is.
I think so.
Pat Sajak?
I think so.
It's going to be one of the longest running game shows.
So we've got those, and then we've got
the
hi Paige. Paige is tuning in. Hello.
On the Go bundle.
On the Go bundle for travel. Really nice little pillow and blanket.
Pop it in your car.
I'll tell you what.
Take it travel.
If I would have had the opportunity to put a Philadelphia Eagles logo on these and put them on those couple chartered planes back to San Francisco this morning.
For all the fans that flew into Philly for the game yesterday.
I might have spent money on that.
That's a worthy
investment. I might have done it.
Would they get to keep the Eagles pillow and blanket? That would be theirs to keep and hold on to.
Wipe their salty tears with.
We should probably get to our guest.
Yes, let's do that.
In fact, Paige is commenting here. She's been following Dom on his Lego journey, and she's joining Lancaster Connects probably for the first time. So thank you, Paige, and anyone else listening for the first time.
Yep. Well, without too much further ado, let's bring on Dominic.
How's it going, dudes?
From Lego Masters. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us.
So Dom is a Lancaster native.
I am.
He is the son of one of our friends, Monica, and also a past guest, Monica Forte. So Dom is Monica's son. And so when we had Monica on, Monica has a unique career, right, in booking Disney vacations. I couldn't think of the right word.
Is that the word?
And you're wearing a Disney shirt. Normally, we ask our guests like if they're from Lancaster and stuff like that, but we know you're from Lancaster. But your family has a unique experience, or unique experiences with Disney. And since you're wearing a Disney sweatshirt, tell us a little bit about your Disney experience there.
Oh boy, we like going to Disney. Going
a little bit. Like how many times have you been there?
Like 70 plus times. That's what my mom says.
Crazy.
I can't recall going to Disney 70 some odd times, but that's what she says. And I'm sure we probably have done 70 plus times. But every vacation was always Disney. We didn't go to the Grand Canyon. We didn't go where other people go to vacations. It was always Disney because it was always changing. It's always evolving. There's always new rides. And it's Disney World. Come on.
Yep.
It's awesome.
And happiest place on earth.
It really is.
That's true.
There's a Lego store, so
well, that marries the two together.
It
right?
it just works.
And you don't need to go anywhere else when you can go. What's the place where you can travel the world in Disney? What's that place called? Epcot Center.
They have the World Showcase where you go to like a bunch of different countries and experience their cuisines and all that fun jazz.
You're a world traveler just by going to Florida.
That's right. Do you have a favorite ride or experience or whatever?
My favorite ride was the now closed Splash Mountain. The log flume ride that would drop 50 feet and make a big splash. Growing up, I always liked that one.
So are they doing away with that?
They're revamping it into a completely new ride, which is saddening in my eyes, but is what it is.
Why change it? Yeah, right.
They have reasons. But I think my new favorite rides have to be any of the Star Wars ones, like Rise of the Resistance or Smuggler's Run. Disney could probably get away with doing their own dedicated Star Wars theme park, but they just have a little section in Hollywood Studios.
Well, they own the IP, so give it time.
Yeah, I could see them in the next like at least 10 years. By then, if there's not a Star Wars park, I'm gonna be like, come on, where's that Star Wars park?
Well, I know they have a Star Wars hotel, so
they do the Star Cruiser.
Yep.
It's like $2,000 a night.
That's
crazy.
On this note, we'll probably have fourth coming here soon. So, if our most fervent Gardeners followers remember,
this is true.
Like 5 years ago, we did a Disney vacation contest, and we actually had Monica help us.
Yes, we did.
With our winner, book their vacation, and through a combination of things, including the pandemic, our winner actually just returned, I think, in the last month.
Yeah.
From their Disney vacation, and they chose to involve it all around the Star Wars experience. So
that's cool.
That's cool. We'll have a bunch of photos forthcoming, nice. I think. So yeah, but we're not here to talk about football. You follow football, Dominic? Are you a football fan?
A little bit, not a lot because I don't have much time to watch it. But my best friend, he's really into it. And yesterday he texted me like, "You better be wearing your Eagle jersey." And I was like,
"Your friend's a good person.
He is a great person. Go Birds."
There we go.
But so I threw that on, and for the rest of the day I was wearing my Eagles jersey. Go Birds.
There you go. Well, he can remain on the show.
That's right. We were going to disconnect if you said that other team.
Completely understandable.
But speaking of obsessions, we'll move off of football. Where did your Lego obsession, not expression? Although I don't know, maybe people express themselves in Legos.
They do. It's a form of expression. But
so where'd your obsession start?
It all started, conveniently enough, I was re-gifted my very first Lego set. This Imperial Star Wars drop.
That's it right there.
This is it. This is the one that started it all. I got it for my 6th birthday. I remember me and my dad building it together, and that eventually evolved into this behind me. I collected Lego for a few years, and then probably when I got 13, 14, I got out of it, started collecting other things and got into different hobbies, and then got back into Lego right before the pandemic hit, which was convenient because when the pandemic hit, I was home, couldn't do much. So I just dumped out on my Lego sorted it and organized it, rebuilt some old sets out of my childhood, and now I have a bunch of pieces. Look, there's me. But yeah,
with a little less hair.
A lot of less hair. But yeah, it all started with this one $10 set has evolved into thousands of dollars of plastic that sit on my shelves in my room.
Wow. So when we had your mother on, we shared the story of your brother Tony, and you had a special bond with Tony, building Legos specifically. Can you just talk a little bit about that?
Growing up, I think Tony's and I's favorite thing to do together was building Lego. We used to have a train table that was no longer a train table. Thomas was out, Lego was in. So
Lego table.
It was a Lego table, and my dad eventually, like the big base plates, he'd glue them down. So we just had a table full of studs where we could just really just build whatever we want, rip it apart, build again. But throughout the years, Tony and I would build all sorts of Lego things together and smash them and rebuild them, and it was a lot of fun. It was probably the thing we bonded most over was Lego.
That's awesome. So you're what do you like more, like when you get a set? Like, I mean, I know they sell like crazy sets of Star Wars scenes and whatnot. Like there's a big Mambo sets that you can build with instructions.
Yes.
And then of course you're a creator. Like what do you prefer to do there? Like what's
It all comes down to what I'm in the mood for. I don't build my own creations too often, given the time that it takes. I mean, when you have a set and instructions, you know what you're building. You know how much. You kind of have an idea of how much time you're going to go into it. With a mock, for an example, a mock stands for my own creation. It's what a lot of Lego people use to tell you that this is my own creation. I've been working on this dinosaur. I've put at least 20 hours into this dinosaur, just rebuilding limbs and reconfiguring the bodies and the internal structure. And 20 hours is no joke. That's how much time I put into my builds, because I want it to be really good. I mean, I did this show a few months ago, so people have an expectation of me now, and I wanted to fulfill that expectation as much as possible. Not just for them, but for myself as well. As a builder, I want to make sure whatever I'm building is actually good. So
that's interesting. So a mock, like, with
my own creation.
So would Lego like look at a creator's mock and go, "That's really cool. We're gonna make that"? Like, do they ever do that?
There is a program called Lego Ideas where people can submit their own creations to potentially be turned into Lego sets. It has to get each submission has to get 10,000 votes, and then it goes into a reviewing process. That Lego looks at the sets, determines which one they actually want to pick. For the past couple of years, it'd only be, maybe less than 10 would actually be selected for the reviewing process, and then 1 or 2 would get picked out. Now with Lego on how much it has grown over the past couple of years, typically there's like at least 30 to 50 submissions making through into the reviewing phases, and then typically only 2 or 3 get picked out of that 50. So it's, now there's like other programs that aren't Lego Ideas that are actually funded by Lego being turned into sets called the Bricklink Designer Program, which is a whole nother thing, but fairly similar to the Lego Idea concept. It's just Lego is at a point where there's all these amazing ideas and products they want to put out, but they don't have the designing or the manpower to do it all at once. So they have to really be picky and choosy with what they turn into sets.
That's cool.
Yeah. So just looking down our list of questions to ask you, I'm dying to know, like, the behind this. Can you share a lot about the production of the show?
Not too much, but
what was the most interesting thing that you could share? And I know we're putting you on the spot.
The most interesting thing I can share. Shoot. It's like, I think of something like, can I say that legally? My contract's not up yet. I myself am not trying to get sued. So I'd say the most interesting thing. Shoot. I remember, so for one of the dog challenges, we had a challenge where we had to have dogs, and they tried keeping it a secret. But one of the other contestants was like, I just saw a dog run across set. which got everyone to thinking, one, why is there a dog here? Two, we're gonna have to build dogs out of Lego. And eventually we did. So that was pretty interesting. And just the whole process that goes into a reality TV competition show like this is very interesting because there's a lot of twists and turns and things that you don't expect. We go into every challenge blind, not knowing what's gonna be. I mean, except for the dog where we had like a hint. But other than that,
Right.
we had no idea what we were going to face the next day after a challenge ended. But I'd say stuff along the lines like that was pretty much what was interesting.
Yeah. So there were surprises. It wasn't like scripted like a television show.
No.
You definitely had surprises. You probably had a general flow of events throughout each day. How
Mm-hmm.
many days total were you on set filming?
We were on set filming, I'm not sure, but Ethan and I, we were there from when we got into Atlanta and when we left. We were there for about a month.
Wow.
So probably we were on set filming for a little less than a month because once we got there, shortly after, once we arrived, after a few preparation and a week of not being in Atlanta, we were brought on set, and then up until our elimination, we were, there for a while. Long days too. I mean, we'd be waking up at 5, it'd be like a half an hour just to get to set from where they were keeping us, where we were stayed in a hotel. So it'd be like half an hour just to get there, then probably another hour of everyone getting their hair and makeup done. And as more people were eliminated, that time of getting hair and makeup done would be shortened and shortened because there was less people.
Right.
But we'd be waking up at like 6 to 5 in the morning, and we wouldn't start shooting till like close to 8 or 9, and then we wouldn't get out of there till 5 to 6 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah, I too know the struggles of hair and makeup. I went through that for our world famous Less Snore More Cuddle commercial shoot. I feel your pain. It's hard being a celebrity sometimes.
Yes, it is. Hair and makeup. I didn't have a lot of hair. I got a very poor haircut before going on Lego Masters, which I guess on the bright side, I didn't have to deal with it getting in my face like it is now. But they put a lot of. Ethan and I are fairly young, so we have some blemishes because we're young. So they would just cake makeup on us. I take my nails and like scratch my face and have like a clump of makeup and throw it at the wall. It was horrible. Makeup sucks. Anywho, I don't recommend it.
Yeah.
So, Adam, how did you land the gig of being on Lego Masters? I mean, we know you're on TikTok and you're kind of a big deal there. So, is that like, did they find you? Did you submit an application?
They found me. They were like, "You,
that guy
right there." Essentially, November of what was it, 2021? It was late at night. I was on Instagram just going through my messages, and I randomly one pops up from the casting agent, and I think to myself, "What? Me on Lego Masters? Nah," because I don't build that many mocks, and the ones that I do, I typically don't show on my page. So I'm not really known for building mocks or creations, but I'm just more so known for just being involved with Lego and stuff. But I look it over. I think about it for a few days. I look at his page a little bit more, and it seemed to be legit. So I was like, "Hey, what do I do? Is this legit?" And essentially, the process was, it ended up going to a phone call, and then he was asking me like, "Who do you want as your teammate?" And I was like, "I know a guy," and then Ethan comes into play. So I asked Ethan, "Hey, do you want to potentially be my partner for Lego Masters?" Because previously, the past 2 years, Ethan's been more on social media longer than I have. And for the past season 1 and 2, he was both casting agents have reached out to him multiple times, but he was too young at the time. But 2020, we were both adults at that point. He was 18, I was 19, and it just worked. We just went through, phases of more further and further into the audition process. And next thing you know, we got on February in a few weeks, it'll be a year since they flew me out to Houston. That's where Ethan's from, to do our final interview, where they sent Ethan a bunch of bricks and pieces to sort. So when I got there, they'd already be sorted. And then we would have like a full-on day of a Zoom interview with other potential contestants building in this last interview. It was crazy.
Wow.
And then we
So
didn't hear.
That was your audition, basically.
Yeah,
like you're
essentially.
like,
it was multiple auditions, multiple Zooms, making home videos to submit, and then they pick us, essentially just making videos to show our personalities and our strengths and skills. It was wild. A lot of paperwork.
I can imagine. So you didn't know Ethan really at all. I mean, you'd never met him before, right?
Never
Just
met him before,
TikTok,
but
yeah.
just from chatting back and forth, around the point where I reached out to him to ask him to be my teammate, we knew each other for around a year and a half or so, just from messaging back and forth through TikTok and stuff. But we never actually built in person or met in person up until when I got flown out for our final interview.
That's cool. I mean, you're I mean, you know him, but like you're kind of like hoping that this thing actually works, right? Like there's probably a lot of different feelings and emotions going through that. Like you want to be on the show, and I'm sure that was a lot of pressure for you to handle.
It was, but I try not to have like high expectations, just because I don't want to get let down. So I always went into the process of like, we've made it this far, but there's a very real chance that they'll go a different route and not pick us for the show. And I always had that in mind. So if it did happen, I wouldn't be like super bummed out. It was more so just being honored and accepting that and being grateful for the idea that they even want us to even apply and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I looked at it. That was my mindset towards it.
So it's interesting that you get recruited using social media. So you're sharing. Was your social media always focused around Lego?
Yes.
Or an abundance of Lego? Okay.
Pretty much.
And how frequently were you posting?
I've gone through multiple different periods of how much I used to post. I mean, now I post 2 times a day on TikTok and Instagram. There was a long period, I think for up to like 5 months, where I was posting 5 different Lego TikToks a day. How I managed to do that, don't ask me. I've tried doing it again. I physically cannot pump out that many videos anymore. But yeah, I've always done Lego content, and I guess I've always stayed really consistent with it. So I think that helped. And
well, there was a reason that I asked, because there's a lot of people in my circles that are looking to gain notoriety and gain influence, whether that just be in their own business, the product services they offer, and that the key at a minimum is once a day, and having it really speak to their audience. And I suppose I'm touching on this for parents. First and foremost, computers and technology are here to stay, right? It's not going anywhere. It's a fabric and a fiber of our DNA at this point and going forward. I would say embrace it with your kids as best you can, even if you don't understand it. Obviously there's a lot of things to watch out for online, especially when it comes to children and teenagers. So, that's a balance, right? Like the mental effect, the emotional effect, the addictive nature of it. But kudos to you for using it as a great tool to express a connection and a passion for something. And then that consistency, I guess I'm speaking to like your peers, younger and maybe even a little older, like that commitment to consistency is powerful, because that consistent 5 a day, 2 a day, whatever that range was in between, but the daily use of it, focusing on a market and a niche, that's what got you recruited. That's what made people pay attention. They knew you were the real deal.
Helped, staying consistency is probably my number one rule. And when people ask me for advice, like how do you do the things that you do, is just number one is just staying consistent and keeping yourself on track, and making a schedule and sticking to that schedule. And it can be hard at first, but once you get into the rhythm of it, it comes as second nature. Like I wear a watch now, but I used to get like this feeling of like, it's close to 4 o'clock. I'm gonna check my phone. Oh, it's 4 o'clock. I should probably post. It's a routine. It's a schedule that eventually you get into and you start to click with it. And it's like a spidey sense.
When did you start to notice that you were gaining popularity on TikTok? Like, you know, a lot of, you ask any kid what they want to do nowadays, and it's like, I want to be a creator or a, you know, what do they call it? YouTube,
an influencer,
an influencer.
YouTuber.
Yeah. Right,
It's
right. So like,
I hear a lot of kids saying this, and it's definitely not it's not for everyone. You can't just pick up the camera. There are some people that will never able to do what I do or what my friends do just because it doesn't align with their personality. Like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't lead the water to the horse. I think that's the saying my dad says. I don't know.
We'll tell him that's what he said. Yeah.
But it essentially, I treated it as if it was a job. Now, when I first started, it was just something I did for fun that eventually started gaining traction, and I was like, hey, let's try to make something of this. This is a lot of fun. This is a passion I've found that I truly enjoy doing. And other than when I started making Lego content, like with TikTok, I always grew up watching, content creators. I watched more YouTube as a kid more than TV. And I always thought, how cool that would be, but I never really thought it was for me until I actually tried it and found out that, hey, I don't suck at this. So that's cool. So I just kept doing it more and more and practicing, getting better at it. And I will even say now that I'm not that good at it. I simply just throw stuff out at the wall, and if it sticks, cool. If not, try again. But it's definitely not for everybody, and it's not as easy as a lot of people make it seem to be. It's a lot of hours going into editing, researching, looking up hashtags, strategies, staying with and trying to know what algorithms are changing to stay on top of them so you don't fall off. It's not all rainbows and sunshine as a lot of YouTubers and bigger creators make it seem to be.
Just on the screen was, you were in the presence of other celebrities, bigger TV stars and whatnot. Will Arnett was just on the screen. One of my favorite actors of the last 10 years or so.
He is so funny.
That's what I was wondering. Like, Arrested Development is one of my favorite shows of all time, and that's where most people got their first look maybe at Will Arnett. I just wondered, is he as funny in person as he is on TV?
It's a crime how many of his jokes got cut from what actually aired on the show.
Really,
there was multiple times where I'd be on the floor laughing my butt off of some of the things that he would say. And he's truly a funny and amazing guy, and really wholesome as well. After we got eliminated, before we left set, he came out and found us, and he gave us a few words of encouragement to Ethan and I for being so young in the entertainment industry. And he told us essentially how much, we have a bright future ahead of us, and to keep at it and just keep doing what we're doing. And he's a really nice guy. And I surely do appreciate him as a comedian and as an actor.
Yeah. So he, in a way, he kind of like hung out with the contestants and stuff like that.
Not too much.
Not really?
We didn't have too much. Whatever was shown on camera, that's how much we got to hang out with him.
Okay.
Other than that, he was either recording lines or voiceovers, or offset doing other Will Arnett things.
I would imagine, he's got the business of Will Arnett, as you have the business of cool guy Dom O2, I guess. Where'd the O2 come from?
You lagged out, so whatever you just said, can you say it again?
Your handle is cool guy Dom O2. Where's the O2 from?
I was born in 2002. That's essentially where it came from.
You knew where that was going.
I set myself up for it. It just doesn't feel any better even acknowledging it. Somebody said to me 20 years ago, and I thought 1980. No. It's when Dom was born, 2002.
So yeah.
Sorry, man.
I'm sorry.
By the way, that analogy is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Thank you. I knew I was along those lines.
He was just, tweaking it for the millennial generation. He
for the cool
kids. He's just tweaking it a little bit there.
So you're kind of a big deal on TikTok. So how did you make that happen?
I had the advantage of making Lego content when there was less than 10 creators on the platform making consistent Lego content.
Oh, wow.
I started making
early.
content. I had the, early bird gets the worm sort of deal.
You got that one right.
I did. Let's go. But I started making Lego content off and on just for fun. I'd say it would have been August of 2020. And then I'm trying to think of it wasn't long till I hit 10K followers on that, because TikTok at the time was a very fast, rapidly growing platform. And there was a time where I was in a group chat with the 10 Lego content creators that were consistently posting, and it was Ethan, Epic Bricks, Matt Mellish, Picking Up Brad. I think Block Studios wasn't quite there yet, but there was SC Dude 99, and then there was me and a few other ones such as Slego and Lego Jedi. I just named a bunch of people that no one knows who they are, but they're great people and they're all awesome. But we were just all making Lego content, slowly getting to know each other, slowly growing the Lego community on TikTok and expanding that and inspiring more people to create more content. So I used to look at it as waves of new people growing in the community on the platform. And there are people that have started making content after I have, and have already surpassed me in followers, whether that's them doing a certain type of video or a trend that really popped them off and they got viral real quick. And it's crazy. I see kids that are making better content than I am, and they're like half my age. I'm like, that's going to be the future of the Lego community. Mm-hmm. That dude's going to take my job. Good for him.
Right.
Yeah. So you were invited back for another Lego Masters event. Tell us about that one. What's that all about?
So I guess behind the scenes, they briefly mentioned that they're thinking of doing a holiday special. This wasn't even like planned months in advance. This was being thought up while we were shooting season 3. So I think it was around after we did the pirate episode, they brought up the idea, a little bit about how long it would take, how that would affect, hypothetically, if you were make it to the season finale, you would essentially go home for like less than a week and then be flown back out. I had the advantage. Ethan and I got sent home, and I was home for about 2 weeks. A week after I got home, I got a phone call with the idea being like, hey, you're in consideration. Would you want to go through with it if you were to be picked? And I was like, sure. Sounds fun to me. And I remember when they brought up the idea while we were shooting season 3, I was very adamant and very eager to participate in a holiday special, given that, I worked a lot with charity growing up, and it just sounded really fun to me. So I was home back in Lancaster for like less than, I think, around 2 weeks before I was reeled right back into Atlanta, back on set for the filming of the holiday special. And then 2 weeks after that took about 2 weeks to film. And then I was back, and I've been back since.
And you worked with Cheryl Hines, right?
I did. That was interesting because up until meeting her in person, I had no clue who Cheryl Hines was.
Right.
I don't know who Cheryl Hines
is. She's on Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David. Probably other things that I'm not aware of, but that's where I know her from. She's hilarious. She's great.
She's so funny. So funny. Hilarious comedian. Super sweet. Super nice. And now I can say a Lego builder.
So she had no Lego experience before.
Zero. Zip.
So
nada.
And with her, you have to build something together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And did she contribute to the builds, or were you like, she tried to do something, you're like, no, that's not going to work? Or like, how'd that go?
Yes, and yes. There was a lot of times where she'd be like, what if we did this? And I was like, we have 6 hours. I am one man. You're Cheryl Hines. That's not going to fly. But we used to, there was times where we'd butt heads and then we'd compromise. With thanks to encouragement from the producers for me to essentially back off and just, let her take an idea. And I was like, okay, this is a holiday special. I'm here to have fun. It's not to be so serious and tough. But yeah, the first challenge we did, I took the reins mostly on that one, and it was thankfully we built a tree, which trees have limbs, and you have to build limbs. So that was something easy to do. I built one limb for her, a few variations, and said, okay, just repeat this about 40 times. Awesome. And then she built Christmas lights. So I'd be like, all right, I built this, repeat that 40 times. So it was a lot of me building something and then her essentially repeating it, because it's hard to ask someone to build something from scratch from their memory when they have little to no building experience with Lego sets or Lego mocks. So yeah, it was interesting. Interesting. I can't speak today. Jeez Louise. But as we got further and further into the challenges, she started to get pretty decent at Lego building.
And is that your Christmas sweater on there, or did they provide that? What
they provided that?
They provided that. All right, that's not your normal outfit.
No, I have them. I managed to keep them, so I was wearing them while the episodes were airing. I wore them in a few of my videos, and I think I wore some of them to work, just because holiday spirit, all that jazz. But no, it was a lot of fun. I was not a big fan of the holiday sweater vests at first, but show must go on. They grew on me.
And you talk about work, so you've made a job of this. What are you doing locally with that?
So locally, I am one of the employees at Brickheads in Nessville. It's a resale Lego store. I started working there with my boss Ron. I would say late August of 2020, so around the same time as I started doing Lego content. So my boss is essentially Ron. The story about Brickheads. Ron worked in construction for multiple years, moved to Lancaster because he was tired of construction and the physical toll that was taking on his body. And he decided to open up a Lego store, a resale Lego store. But the timing was very poor because 2 weeks after he signed the lease, the whole world shut down with COVID. So he had a few months to, he had a few months to work in the shop to get it looking really nice. But he opened up the first shop in downtown Lancaster, Lancaster City, off of Queen Street, right around the corner from Market, which is awesome because for lunch on market days, so good. But shortly after he opened, I went in there one day and I told him straight to his face, "This is awesome. I'm going to work here." And then a week later, he asked if I could start the next week, and I did. Nice. And then history went from there. So now we ended up moving locations into Nashville out of the city because parking in the city is horrible. And Lego takes up a lot of space. And shortly after that first location, we grew. Lego takes up a lot of space. We outgrew that shop very quickly. And I'd say we even outgrew the shop that we are in now. But we have a store in Nashville. We just opened up a store in Harrisburg.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, the Lego resale market is a lot of fun.
So when you say Lego resale market, you're saying like maybe sets from years gone by.
Yeah, so discontinued sets, they get brought in on trade from people downsizing their collection. We take them in, dust them up, break them down, make sure all the parts are there. We verify every single piece by hand, box it back up, put it on a shelf in a new box. Boom. We sell minifigures individually. We sell parts individually. So if you're looking to build your own creations like this, you can come in, get some parts, get a few sets from forever ago.
Very cool.
And you sell online too, right? I went on the Brickheads website and it looked like you could buy a minifigure or anything else really that you wanted.
So we're slowly growing our inventory when it comes to minifigures and sets. But we do have a online Bricklink store where it's mostly individual pieces, great for mock building or if you need to repair your sets that are missing parts. So we have that, but we're looking forward to add more on Bricklink, such as minifigures and more sets. It just comes down to time, just having the time to do it.
We have a ton of Lego at home, but it would give you nightmares because it's all in big Rubbermaid bins, just
big totes,
no manuals, just piled in.
Yeah.
Which from back in my day, that was the way you did Lego. It was just like, here's the Lego bin, have fun, Johnny. And you just built like a tricolored Technicolor Dreamcoat house and you were happy with it as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had one of those, like you talked about your dad gluing down the boards, what did you call them? The flat things to build upon.
Base plates.
Base plates, yeah. Like if you had a base plate,
These things.
Ours were green. I guess they're gray now. But
Oh, they
maybe
still
they're
make green ones. They still
Okay.
make green ones. They make green, white, blue, gray.
But man, if you had a base plate as a kid, that was like
you were
that was big pimping right there.
They were
you were set.
So I'm curious, what did Mama Fort think of this? Like when you went to her and be like, "Hey, I just got invited to be on TV." Like, what did Mama say?
She wasn't surprised. You know my mom.
Oh yeah, okay.
She wasn't surprised. She was like, "You're gonna get on that show," and I was like, "I don't know, Mom.
Nice.
I don't know. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. If I don't, it's whatever." She's like, "No, you're gonna go on that show." That was her mentality. Awesome. Very, very like you're practically on the show. And I was like, "Well, thank you, but things could happen. It could change."
That's really cool. I remember her posting something on Facebook like a year ago or something, like she mentioned you and you had an opportunity, but she can't say anything of what's going on.
I don't know.
A lot of people were commenting like, "What's going on? What is it? What is it?"
Exactly. Like, okay. I think she just wrote, like caused a little bit of chaos, and I had at least 3 people figure out, like, we saw on your mom's Facebook page you're on Lego Mess. I was like, what? No, I'm not.
Yeah, because you can't say
you're posting less on TikTok. We know you went somewhere. Nah, it's just taking a break.
Yeah. So. Oh man. Yeah. Conspiracy theories.
Yeah. So, actually.
So where do you go from here? What's next for you?
Well, I'm hoping to grow my YouTube a lot more because it just TBH just pays better, and the more I can get out of this, the longer I can do it, and actually eventually do it as a full-time job. But essentially, post more on YouTube, and Instagram's been growing a lot. Essentially, post more, create more. Hope to go to more conventions to meet more people in the Lego community. I like to hopefully at least by summer start doing my own weekly live show, kind of like this, over on YouTube. I have some merch idea designs in the workshop right now. But yeah, essentially just whatever I'm doing now, except more going forward into 2023.
Yeah, very cool.
That's cool. You're probably not allowed to say, but could we see you on TV again?
I honestly don't know. I'd hope so. Okay. Fingers crossed.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Love it. And in case you missed it, for all you old folks watching out there, which I'm now, we're in the old folks group. When Dominic said TBH, I think doing a YouTube show, that was to be honest.
Yeah, sorry.
Look at you.
Sorry.
Well, I have children his age.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
So yes. I have to keep up on these things.
You know the lingo.
I know how to speak Snapgram. Yes.
That's great.
So anyway,
Dom, last question. Who has more Legos, you or Brickheads?
Brickheads.
And like if you were to put a number on just the amount of individual little Legos that you have, how many would you say it is? Are we talking like 1 million little Legos?
I'd say we're close. I say we're up there because behind this camera is a wall of pieces and parts sorted in bins. And then I have in the corner of my room 4 of the biggest Lego sets you can get on the market. I just haven't built them yet because I'm out of room. So I have the Titanic, I have a Star Destroyer, I have the UCS Falcon, I have the AT-AT, giant, amazing, awesome sets that sit in my corner because I don't have the space.
Well, you just talk to Mom about that.
We're working on it. We're going to knock down a wall, expand a little bit,
there you go.
Shelvings up, you know.
There you go.
The Lego wing of Casa de Forte.
Yep.
You know,
that's right.
Love it. All right. Well, you can't drink, but we're going to do it anyway. Connection cocktail time. You can have a virgin daiquiri.
Shirley Temple.
As we go through it. So I'll go first. Dominic, what's your favorite thing to do in Lancaster?
I'm not sure if it's really in the Lancaster area, but I feel like PA is known for their antique malls, and I love going antiquing with my parents or my friends. Occasionally, I'll find some Lego, so that's always fun. But I'd say my favorite thing to do in Lancaster, it has to be antiquing.
That's cool. Our youngest guest ever says one of the, typically like older person thing to do. That's cool. Like what, Adamstown?
I like that. Yeah, Adamstown.
Yep.
Up by 272. Great.
Yep.
There's some great spots in Hershey. Great antique stores.
That's cool. I didn't expect to hear that at all. How about a restaurant? Your favorite Lancaster restaurant?
I really don't have one because I don't eat out much. My mom loves to cook.
You could say your mom. Yeah.
My mom's kitchen. Mom's kitchen.
There you go.
Good answer.
That just warmed Mom's heart. All right. So this is always an interesting one. You don't eat out much, but you do get out enough, I would imagine. Do you have a preference? Turkey Hill, Sheets, Rutter's, or Wawa?
Sheets.
And why?
Sheets guy. Oh, convenience. I feel like there's more Sheets around me than Wawa.
Mm-hmm.
And then the atmosphere and the vibe that Sheets has over Wawa, I just like it more.
Yeah. Why the Sheets not?
That's
what the billboards say.
There we go. All right. Well, you did it, man. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
This is great. I know it's not quite the Will Arnett A-list celebrity experience, but there's a lot of fun to have you on. It's cool to showcase somebody right here in our own community and county doing something really fun and amazing. And if you are a parent and you've got kids that say they want to go down this road, please, let them explore that dream a little bit. Get them to follow Cool Guy Dom 02 on TikTok. I think it's the same handle on YouTube. It's
YouTube, Instagram.
Yeah,
always just Cool Guy Dom 02.
Yep, there you go. So follow him there and have your kids follow him. Obviously, good, wholesome young man. He's not gonna, it's a good, safe place to go online.
Yes,
and you'll learn something by observation, which is a very powerful tool. And if you look at successful people, that's one of the things they do. They observe other successful people, and Dom has carved that path, and I'm sure he's gonna continue to do some of that on his own. So thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
See you, Dom.
We'll see you.
Take care, y'all. Peace.
All right. Well, it was fun.
Give us a piece.
He did. Yeah. We need to have a young people to old people Dakota ring chart.
right.
TBH.
We could put it right over here.
There's a whole thing. Well, we need it on the screen for our guests.
That's right.
So anyway, that was good. That was good.
It was fun.
That was really fun.
Yep.
That was really fun. Are you ready with your?
I am not. I am a poor.
Well, then I'll go with my sleep better
host.
Tip. So, right over my shoulder, right there, Sleep Better book. We're happy to mail you that book, chock full of really great sleep tips, routines, and sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene is one of these things you may not be aware of, but it's really about your environment. As Dom said, he likes the Sheets environment. So your sleep hygiene is about, reducing noise, preparing yourself to go to sleep. So one of those things would be a cool down routine. So some light stretching, not where you're elevating your heart rate, but just kind of letting your body know, hey, we're switching up the routine here. We're not going to play armchair quarterback and get all hype about our football team and raise our blood pressure to 7,000 over 5,000 like I do.
Never happens.
It happens all the time. But yeah, that little routine of some light stretching, just kind of let the body know it's time to cool down, and we're going to get ready for bed. Same thing in the morning. A little bit of more vigorous stretching can help. Just kind of wake you up a little faster, get the blood moving. Those kinds of things are really helpful to improve your sleep. We'll mail you the book with a whole bunch more tips like that. You just go to gardnersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better, and we'll mail you a book out for free.
So the testimonial for this week is one of the shortest testimonials we've ever gotten on Google, but it's actually it's a shout out to us in a way, and a shout out to our. It's very well to the point. Jeff, a few weeks ago, wrote very well run place. So that's kind of a shout out to us, right? And the systems we have in place and great communication. So, a lot of times you buy something with a business, you transact the money, you walk out the door and the business is done with you. You've got an invoice with a number on it.
They one night standed you.
That's right. That's
we
right.
Don't do that here.
We communicate with emails and text messages after the purchase. Make sure you're satisfied with the in-store experience. We communicate after the delivery is complete to make sure that you are 100% satisfied with your mattress and are waking up happy and pain-free. Maybe we over-communicate, but that's why we get that kind of response, right?
But you can tell us to stop. You can unsubscribe.
That's right. There's ways to do that.
You can call us and say, I love you, but no more. We'll take all of it.
You can tune into a podcast from our communications.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep. So thank you to Jeff. But that kind of speaks to who we are and what we do.
That's right. That's right. Well, and being connected to our customers is important. Being connected to our community is important. It's why we created this show. It's hosted by Gardner's Mattress and More. Gardner's Mattress and More pays the bills for it, but it's really about Lancaster. It's about the community. I got some community notes that come across my desk. By the way, if you want to get these kinds of things on the show, just send them to us through our website, through comments here on the show, direct message. There's no shortage of communication device. Easiest way would probably just be my email, jeff@gardnersmattressandmore.com. But so this is from Lancaster City Alliance. We've had them on. And Williams, right?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yep. So sorry if I mess your name or organization up. It's never meant to be personal. It's just we talk to a lot of people and
do talk to a lot of people.
At any rate, so right here, this was from the Lancaster City Alliance email that came out. This is kind of what happened in a recent meeting. Some things that I thought were worth highlighting. Diana Martin with Hourglass has a community forum coming up on April 12th at the Ware Center. The founder of Strong Towns, Chuck Marone, is going to be the featured speaker. So that would be a good one to check out. You can get all this stuff, by the way, if you go to lancastercityalliance.com and you can sign up for their email list. But just figured I would share some other stuff. Chris Dreisbach with Blueprints for Addiction Recovery shared their planning a night of recovery on February 17th at the Ware Center. Just pointing that out. One United Lancaster encourages everybody to visit their website, oneunitedlancaster.com. Subscribe for the weekly newsletters. You get more great information similar to this about our community. This is very appropriate. This is connected to us. Larry Keating, who works for and with SCORE. SCORE helped Ben and I construct our business plan when we bought the business.
13 years ago. 12 years ago, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
in 2002.
Yeah. Not quite that bad.
Yeah.
But I bet you if you heard that part of the show where I said 20 years ago and you thought of 1980, you feel the same way I do, old. But SCORE is a great business resource for anybody in the business that's looking to create something new, improve what they have, buy another business, get business information, insights and guidance. SCORE is a great thing to do. No cost. It's nonprofit. There's 80 experienced business people ready to provide support to the business community here in Lancaster.
That was the experience we had with them was invaluable.
It was really great.
Very timely when we needed it. And great people, great connection to have.
Yep. And all their services are provided free of charge. There is I didn't know we had this. There is a State of the City address. I guess the mayor, Deneen Sirache, will be giving that. And that's January 26th at 4:30. Oh, wait, we passed that. Well, we had one.
Next year.
There we go. That's what I get for working without a net. Live TV for you. But we have that, so catch it next year. There you go. You got a whole year to prepare. And then last but not least, Justin McCarthy at Tread House. Tread House was a guest.
Yeah, there it is.
Their classes, they had this past Friday, so way to go, Tread House. January 27th, they had free classes that are open to the public by donation. And those donations went to last week's guest, Girls on the Run. Is that right?
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
our last week's guest, Girls on the Run?
Yep.
So there we go. Just wanted to share that. Last but not, again, last but not least, I think I've said that a couple times. If you're last in the show, it means you're not least at all. But Help the Fight has their annual designer bag bingo. So if you get down with designer purses from Coach, Kate Spade, Michael Kors, Tory Burch, all my jams personally, Sunday, March 5th is the big bag bingo, and you can get in on that. It's right here, $30 in advance, $35 at the door. Really great way to win a really nice high-end designer bag for yourself. Plus, all the donations go to Help the Fight. If you want more information, you can call them 717-455-7095 or go to helpthefight.org for more details there.
I bet you could rock the man purse. You could do that. Maybe have one with an Eagles logo on it.
Well, that would change things.
There you go.
that would have to be in consideration.
There we go. Great, Help the Fight, great organization.
I would keep tissues in there for Cowboys fans and 49er fans and Vikings fans.
I knew the football was right around the corner. I knew it.
You opened the door. I'm not going to not walk through it. Give me a break. What do we got going on around here at the store? That's not a whole lot. It's President's Day is right around the corner.
It is.
We were talking about some vendor specials coming up. I guess this would be a good time. So we have our 120-day Wake Up Happy guarantee. We have it right on the screen. It's right. I can never point. It's up there in the corner, whichever way you're looking at it. It's on the screen. There we go. I never can figure out.
Yeah, it's over your head.
Which way to do it. Chris should just like put it right in my face right now. That'd be hilarious. But
it's going to happen.
You know, I guess we have this come up. I don't know. But with that 120-day Wake Up Happy guarantee, your investment with us is also protected. So like these two guys right here, we determine the pricing, the specials, things like that. And we want to treat every customer the same, have you buy with confidence that you're not going to buy and then 3 weeks later see something less. In the fact that happens, we're going to make it right and take care of you. But I got to be honest with you, we kind of know what's going on. We don't play those games around here. There is not some big, massive conspiracy to generate new price tags. We do use a lot of paper around here, but it's not for price tag purposes. We would much rather focus on a really great experience. But if that is something that you're concerned with, I can understand you've been maybe burned in other places in the past, not necessarily a mattress store, but in other buying experiences. You have our word. That's just not going to happen here. Okay. We are going to treat every person's investment fair and really ask you to invest money with us the way we would want to invest money with others.
That's a good point. Golden rule.
Right. Treat others how you want to be treated.
You got that one right.
Not to be confused with the horse in the water moving.
I loved it. He's like, I think my dad says that.
Love you, Dominic. That was great. But listen, all jokes aside, if something were to come up, and it's very few vendors because we use a lot of small family-owned businesses that just don't do the big national ad campaigns. But we have Tempur-Pedic, we have Dream Cloud, we have Nectar, and to that point, Dream Cloud and Nectar, we're on our phones with you, the customer, right in the moment. Whatever their offer is, our offer is. Tempur-Pedic would really be the only wild card there, and we kind of know what's going on. But let's say they pull something last minute, and pull something isn't the right way to say it. Let's just say they put something else last minute that we just didn't get the information downloaded to us fast enough. We'll make that right. Happily make that right. No questions asked. So that's that. That's the store happenings.
Yeah.
That was verbose, but
it was well said though.
I'm a verbose kind of guy at times.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So anyway.
Or yes, you are. Not yes, it is. That didn't make any sense.
You want to sommelier that one more time?
I think it's time for the prize-a-later.
It is time. It's time for the prize.
Chris is like, he had it ready to go, and he pressed the button
later.
before we even said it. He's like, let's just
right.
wrap it up, guys.
Wrap it up. Enough. Give these guys the old.
Yeah, he needs a hook.
Hook.
Don Peters,
congratulations,
long-time listener and commenter, and
yep. I think Dawn's donated her prize back to maybe an organization or two, but we'd love to. See, I was just saying. Let someone else have a chance. Well, Don, we'd love you to come in. If we go and spin the prize-a-later again, chances are you're going to win it again because that's just how prize-a-later luck goes on this show. But let's see. We're going to try it again. But we do have that great new sleep bundle prize.
it's nice.
It's very nice. Jennifer Hollister.
There
We
go.
go, Dawn.
Yeah. Looks
So
like a
Dawn's
fan of
gracious.
Monica.
Jennifer, congratulations. So anytime coming to the store, we have ordered the bundles, the travel bundles, to give us maybe a week or two on that. But we do have the drinkware here, and you can pick up a piece of that if you like. A $30 value. Very nice. We use them all the time at home. So congratulations to Jennifer. Don, you're gracious as always. We love your support of our show and the contributions you make to the show and what you give back to the community. So thank you. We appreciate you. I think that's it.
That's it.
It was a
Thanks
great
to
show,
Dom.
fun show, local celebrity. And we'll see you next week on Lancaster Connects.